Hello and welcome to Chip Advisor. Yes, hello there. I'm Phil, and this is Chip Advisor. I am here with Mike. How are you, Mike?
How now, Brown Cow? Very well, thank you.
Good, good. Did you have a good week? We missed recording last week, but have you had a nice week?
It's been okay. I've started eating apples, which is okay. Go for a bit of an apple phase. It's okay, but they do discolor very quickly.
Yeah.
And I know you can put them in water, but that really doesn't. Nobody wants a soggy apple. So yeah, they do discolor very quickly and look very unattractive very quickly. You've got to eat them fast. Or they'll look very unpleasant to pop in your mouth.
We are also here with Lewis. How are you, Lewis?
Blessings, friends and listeners. I'm very well, thank you, Phil. It's good to be back recording. I missed us not being able to do this last week.
Yeah, absolutely. I noticed, I'll just calm down the lady singing. I noticed that last week when we recorded that you decided against blessing friends and indeed listeners at the start of the podcast. And I was wondering if there was a reason for that.
Oh, I really must have been having a bad week.
Are you leaving the order, Lewis?
That's the big announcement of this week. Just breaking it to the news to the parishes and indeed to the bishop.
Yeah.
We are also here with
Harry. Where's Harry? Harry!
I'm lost in a technological whirlwind.
Okay.
Two restarts of your laptop already.
Yes.
Well,
okay. Yeah. My laptop is also the children's laptop.
Yeah.
And there are keys that no longer work on the laptop, which makes it very difficult to ever compose a letter. Especially if it involves the letters K, S, and C, which the S is, as you know from Scrabble, is quite an important letter in the alphabet.
Suck, sick, you're in big trouble.
Yeah, I know, precisely.
Suck, sick sounds like a challenge on that board game Dare from the 90s. Do you remember Dare?
Oh, what a game that was. That's a blast from the past. Yeah.
I once where you had to eat a spoonful of Marmite. So Kev, our middle brother who doesn't do the podcast, I was around his friend's house. So they were
very much the black sheep of the family.
Very much so. And I was around his friend's house, and for some reason we were playing Dare, and I ate a spoonful of Marmite and threw up all over his lounge carpet, and it was terribly embarrassing and awkward.
Classic Botto anecdote there.
Well, I like Marmite, so I couldn't work out why I'd thrown up, but maybe the sheer quantity.
It's salt, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
I think if you have too much salt in one go, it can make you ill. I once scooped up all the salt from the bottom of a pretzel packet and ate that all in one go. And that was, a teaspoonful of salt, and I did not feel well for a period of time afterwards.
Harry, couple of questions for you.
Yes, okay, yeah, good.
Apples. Frustrating that they are they discolor very quickly.
Yeah.
Also, easy peelers. I love an easy peeler in terms of a tangerine or a satsuma.
I was going to say you've crossed the fruit stream there into tangerines, but
imagine an easy peel apple. That would be fantastic. But
precisely, yeah.
But easy peelers, are they grown differently? And why does anybody bother with anything that isn't an easy peeler?
Well, I think easy peelers are sort of satsumas, aren't they, or tangerines? I can't now.
Yeah, but not all of them are easy. You can buy normal satsuma and easy peeler satsuma.
Yeah, I think they're all easy peeler, aren't they? You've obviously done some sort of survey on this.
No,
I think Mike, maybe they're just using that as a sales tact.
I think so. I think you want to go for a quality Jaffa orange.
Oh no! What a nightmare! A Jaffa. What a nightmare to peel a Jaffa. You want to give up? You need to book an afternoon off to do that.
The only time you're going full orange is at half time in a football match when they've been
Yes.
cut into
Yeah.
Yeah,
segments.
or Chris Dingle, which gets mentioned more times than you'd imagine on this podcast. I
Absolutely.
find.
Yeah, we've gone early in March from Chris Dingles.
You mentioned
Yeah.
Jaffa, Mike. You mentioned Jaffa,
Yeah.
and you'll remember that we recently did a podcast. Maybe it was on pineapples, where we were talking about Del Monte.
Yes.
So when we got our Ocado delivery the other week, which
All
we
right,
had
drop that in. Oh, good.
Yeah,
Here we go.
we had-
Oh.
He
we had
can't
found-
stop
There's
mentioning it, Harry.
listeners switching off in droves. The man of the people has gone to a car.
Oh, it's such a
The
middle class
options-
podcast.
So sorry. The options at Ocado for ketchup were Heinz or Del Monte's ketchup.
Oh wow.
So we had Del Monte ketchup. It just was a bit weird.
Hmm.
was Very odd. Anyway, we're talking about Toad in the Hole today.
Of course we are.
Toad in the Hole. Lewis, do you want to explain why we're talking about Toad in the Hole? Because I think this came up after you had an incident, and I don't know whether that's referring to you as a toad.
Yeah, I'd forgotten since we've had a couple of weeks in between recording. I mean, I don't think I suggested it, but it was definitely suggested off the back of an incident I had in one of our churchyards, where we were. How do we put this? Okay, there's no easy way of saying this. We were digging a grave for a funeral, and the grave diggers had a little incident where they discovered an unknown vaulted grave below the churchyard, which they subsequently fell into. It was, I would say, it was empty, but it was quite a surprise on Wednesday morning to get that phone call from the grave digger to say, "I've fallen in. Did you know there was a very large hole in the churchyard?"
Did he ring from the hole? Because it wasn't like, hello, Lewis, I'm calling from a small mine shaft in your graveyard. Could you come and help, please?
You don't know how accurate that was, Harry. So I did arrive with mini digger on the side and a rather perplexed looking grave digger. So that was the incident, and then off the back of that, I can't remember who suggested
Harry.
Harry.
Oh, sorry.
suggested that Toad in the Hole was the link. I would never refer to the grave digger as a toad.
Oh, I don't think Harry was, Lewis.
No. It was
pretty confident.
Yes.
So, Toad in the Hole, then. We've actually got some questions following up from last week's episode on Afternoon Tea, but we'll do that during listener questions. Toad in the Hole appeared as a meal in the sort of the 18th century, 1700s. Did anyone else get confused about that when people say, 18th century, when they mean the 1700s?
Always. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's a big
Very
problem for me.
Yeah, I thought it would be. And it was effectively, it was a cheap meal. It was a cheap meal, and people would just get a scrap of whatever meat they could get and then pour a load of batter around it and bake it and try and, create a meal for the whole family on a really tight budget. There was a recipe for pigeon in a hole, and then the actual name Toad in the Hole comes from the fact, well, the rumours are that when you've got the little sausages poking out of the batter once it's cooked, it looks a bit like the head of a toad.
It does sound your state of affairs does sound a little bit like Britain under the Conservatives in 2024.
It does, doesn't it? So we're trying to make our food go further.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, Toad in the Hole is a load of sausages which are cooked in like a Yorkshire pudding batter. That is it. And then so you cook the sausages first, maybe for sort of 15-20 minutes, brown them off. By that point, the actual pan that you're cooking it in is very hot, that you're baking it in. You put some oil in there that's got really hot, and then you pour in this batter and then bake it for a longer time. I actually like to add onions at the same time that I do sausages, but yeah, personal preference. But it makes a little go a long way, and batter is very cheap to make. So yeah, perfect for 2024. So the actual dish they used to make it with steak, like sirloin steak, which is pretty insane. Have you ever had that, Harry?
I've had a sirloin steak. Yes. Well, they used to make. I mean, it's like they used to use loads of different meats, didn't they?
That's right. Yeah, any meat you like, but even the upper echelons tried it out with steak, which, when it was a meal for the poor, was a bit of a surprise.
It's gonna get hard. It's gonna be hard to cook medium rare, I would have thought.
Yeah, I don't know how they would have done that too well. It would have been a bit tough. And the joy of the Yorkshire pudding batter is it's nice and big, so you've just got a few sausages there. You can have that, the Yorkshire pudding batter and the gravy, maybe a few vegetables, and you've got a cheap meal. It's a cheap frill, if you will.
A cheap thrill, in the words of Sia.
Oh, hang on. In the words of Sia, I was listening to that song yesterday, which must be why that was in my head.
The song "Cheap Thrills."
"Cheap Thrills" by Sia. I've got a question for all of you, but I don't know if you'll know it, Mike, because it's not 90s, but but it goes in the chorus. She says, she says, "I don't need no." She said, "I don't need no." What is that word? I
don't know what's just happened.
Hang on. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Let me get to the bit of the song. I'll play it to you, and you can, at that point, you can tell me what the word is that she's saying, because I honestly don't know.
While Phil finds that, I was discussing with my wife the fact that we were going to be recording a Toad in the Hole podcast today, and it became very carry-on chip advising on our car journey, where she referred to not wanting your sausage waving around in soggy batter. So do with that as you please.
She says,
"Baby, I don't need $1 million bills tonight. Yeah, no cheap frills."
Yeah, and then she says, "I don't need." What's that word?
Have you thought of the time you took to just find that song and try and play it to us?
Yeah.
Have you thought about
to get the lyrics?
Yeah. Have you thought about?
Fine.
Yeah. Have you thought about that?
Well, I can think about it. I mean, it's not a real word. Whatever she's saying is not a real word. So that
But I don't need no money as long as I can feel the beat.
You really do not know that
song?
It?
Is that
baby,
it?
I don't need dollar bills to have fun tonight. I love cheap frills, baby. I don't need dollar bills to have fun tonight. I love cheap frills, but I don't need no money as long as I can feel the beat. Feel the beat.
Okay, it doesn't sound like money, does it? I don't
know, but I have. That is definitely the lyrics.
Okay, well, we've gone off piece, and I apologise.
For sure, we have.
So yeah,
Dr.
I
Dre.
apologise.
For sure, Dr. Dre.
Thank you. For sure, Dr. Dre. So
I did ask Phil. I did ask, didn't I, on our sister podcast for you to find the Dr. Dre kind of beat that every time you say that we could play it.
Sorry, yeah.
You wouldn't mind making a note.
Is that of your own invention, or does that come from somewhere else? I do often wonder.
For sure, Dr. Dre.
For sure, Dr. Dre.
Yeah, I think that's a lyric.
Yeah, I don't know where. It's been a while. I've said that for many years, so I don't exactly know. But people aren't here to hear about that.
I am on as it happens, I am on the lyrics website. So,
does he say for sure Dr. Dre at the beginning of all his songs, like Sean Paul says Sean Paul at the beginning of all his songs?
Or are you getting confused with Jason Derulo?
Jason Derulo.
Yeah, well, he does it too, but Sean Paul, I'm not doing the accent because I'm not Antigua Joe, but
coming to a village near you.
He had a song. He had a song called "For Sure."
Okay.
Yeah,
great, brilliant.
Okay, fine. So, Toad in the Hole. Lewis, you strike me as a big Toad in the Hole fan.
Do I?
Are you?
Am I a big fan? I am a fan. I'm not sure whether I'd be a top fan, but I'm definitely do like Toad in the Hole. You know what? Although it's one of those things I don't remember ever cooking it. I've not had it in many places, and Mum cooked it when I was at home, and it's kind of thing I would order in a pub. But I don't remember ever cooking it myself.
This seems to be a theme from the people I've spoken to. I like to do a little bit of market research before we record. The people I've spoken to about Toad in the Hole have nearly all said to me, "Oh yeah, I used to have that when I was younger," and it's seemingly not something that they have anymore.
We all grew up under the Conservatives in the 80s.
Yeah, I mean, I make Toad in the Hole, maybe 3-4 times a year, I reckon.
We are ramping up the political rhetoric with a general election looming, aren't we?
Absolutely.
I mean, we call ourselves children of the 80s. Mike's technically children of the 70s, aren't you?
By a week. By a week, Harry.
Mike, do you need a distraction?
Yeah.
Do you want a quiz?
Yeah.
Well, all right, a bit more enthusiasm, please.
Yes, please.
Let's do a quiz. It's a quiz. It's a quiz. It's a quiz. It's a quiz. So I have got the average length of a sausage.
Oh gosh. Oh, it's very carry on chip advising already. Yeah.
Brilliant. Didn't need to be. Right. So I've got the average length of a sausage, and then I've measured things. I've measured the height of things by the length of a sausage. So I hope that makes sense.
Yes.
Are we talking metric here?
Hold on.
No, we're talking how many sausages tall.
We're talking sausages.
Right. Okay, we're just sausages. Metric sausages. It's very important to me.
Incredibly, they cover both imperial and metric sausages.
Why did we not just move to sausages as a unit?
Yeah.
Well, these are
Phil
great
has.
questions.
Yeah.
I have. Every trend needs a setter, and I'm on the case. Don't worry about that. So we've got varying sizes of things. So I'm talking about. So if it was the height of my head in sausages, we wouldn't be stacking them like that. You won't be able to see
Horizontally.
Yeah, but you'll be like vertically,
Going end to end.
Vertically, yes.
Yeah. Good. You've worked it out. So let's go for a simple starter. How many sausages high is the tallest man in the world, Sultan Kozan?
Yeah. Oh, Sultan. Let me think. Sultan. Good old Sultan. I would say, not that you've asked me to go first, but I would say the Sultan is 50 sausages tall.
Okay. Can I go next? Yes. I'm going to go less than that.
5-0. No, sorry, 5-0.
I'm
Yeah.
going to go half as many. I'm going to go 25.
He's the tallest man in the world.
Okay. Lewis got 25. Harry.
So are we talking Richmond or Tesco Finest or some sort of artisan?
Talk about average sausages. So a bit like a bit.
Sausages. Of course, he's asking the question.
We're talking about like your Richmond sausages. You buy a pack of 8 sausages in a supermarket.
Yeah. Okay.
Go Richmond if you want to drop a brand name. They're never going to sponsor us.
Walls.
Well, yeah, I was going to say Walls.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, oh, okay. So that's going to be. So he's going to be.
Far too much credence to this quiz, Harry.
18.
18. Okay. And Lewis, what did you say?
25.
So Lewis, you just take that. He's 21.95 sausages.
Oh,
He's not as tall as I remember him.
Not 50.
Not quite 50. No.
Can
Okay.
Can you reveal how tall the Sultan was, or is that going to help us too much with the
I will
quiz?
reveal it in feet.
Okay.
He's 8'3".
Oh, so not 16.5 foot then. Oh, well.
No,
Never mind. Okay.
not right. So, how tall in sausages is a 2023 Renault Clio?
Who's going first, Phil?
Harry can go first.
Right, so he was 8 foot. So it's going to be 5 times 20. That's 14.5 sausages.
14.5 sausages. Okay. Mike, how many sausages tall is a 2023 Renault Clio?
15 sausages.
Okay. Lewis.
16 sausages.
Harry gets the point. It's 12.59 sausages.
Yeah, cars are smaller than you think, aren't they?
Well, especially
Yeah.
the old bangers.
Oh, it's been worth it just for that.
There we go. Right.
That's the gold.
Michael.
Hello.
No, Lewis, you can go first. How many sausages tall is Ant McPartlin from Ant and Dec?
Right. Okay. So he's a fairly little chap, isn't he? I think.
He's got a big forehead, like me.
His forehead's 2 sausages alone, surely.
So there's, well, let's say I'm going to say 14 sausages.
Ant McPartlin. 14 sausages tall, says Lewis. Mike.
16.
Oh, it's good speed. Harry.
I'm going to go for my same answer, 14.5.
And with that, Harry gets a point. He's 15.13 sausages tall.
Gosh. Brave from Harry, that. Brave.
Now we're going to go slightly bigger. The Great Pyramid of Giza. You know that.
Well,
one
don't
made
give
of
them
sand.
clues, Phil.
Well, yeah, sorry, I've given away that the Great Pyramid of Giza is taller than Ant McPartlin,
Exactly.
but not crucially made of sand, as you
Yeah.
thought. So, Harry, you can go first on this one. How
Oh,
tall
great.
is the Great Pyramid of Giza in sausages?
In sausages. So the tall. So well. You see, your problem here is I don't actually know how tall the Great Pyramid of Giza actually is.
Yeah,
So-
I can understand. Yeah,
Yeah. So
I understand the problem. That's the quiz.
yeah, but it's it's going to be quite big, isn't it? Really. So I'm going to say. Well, I don't know. 175 sausages.
175 sausages. It has shrunk since it was originally
Oh,
built.
great. All right. Well, go on. Help the other two. I was going off the original diagram. that they
Well, it's
built
because
it.
it's made of sand. The wind blows and it shrinks. So,
The
Lewis.
original spec, honestly.
Oh, right. Well, now it's shrunk a bit. I think I'm definitely going to need to go a little bit less than Harry went for because I had faith in he'd done the equation just right. I'm going to say 132.
132 sausages tall. Mike, how many sausages tall is the Great Pyramid of Giza?
Well, as a building, it's no wiener. Let me
Oh
think.
gosh.
Not as strong. Appreciate that.
That wasn't as good.
Felt like you
If
were
I-
stretching
if
for that.
If I started this earlier, I would have asked if the name of the tallest man in the world was Frankfurter. But I will go for 800 sausages.
Oh yeah. No, I think that's quite good. I think that's good.
You reckon?
Well,
Yeah.
Mike does get the point. It's actually 1,216
Yeah.
sausages
Wow.
tall.
Yeah.
It's
Goodness
the
me.
Great Pyramid of Giza.
Yeah.
mean-
I was thinking of the small pyramid of Giza. That was my problem there.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Mm.
Could have been versed, lads.
Oh gosh, this is gonna.
Stop the quiz.
Darkness, my old friend.
Anyway, I'm going to turn off the tension music because it was doing weird things to my ear. We've got two more.
Okay.
Questions. So this time, Harry's got a bit of a leg up here. So
Okay, good.
the tallest horse that ever lived. It was a Shire gelding named Samson, and he was later nicknamed Mammoth. So how tall was he in sausages? Lewis, you can go first.
Oh, brilliant! Thanks. Right. Let's think this through. How about I'm going to say 18.2.
18.2 sausages tall. Harry.
So are we talking to back or to ear tip?
I assume it's to the
Of
top
the
of
horse.
his head. To the top of his head. Yeah, I assume.
The top of his head. Well, I'm taking a sausage off my answer then.
Well, no, I assume you include ears. Okay, include ears.
Yeah. I think you include ears. What did you say? It was 18.2.
Yeah.
I think, and the tallest old Sultan was whatever he was. I can't remember.
21.95 he was.
Oh, was it 21.95? Yeah, right. So I'm saying 19.
19 sausages. And Mike, how many do you think?
19.1 sausages.
Oh.
This is unbelievable. I mean, Mike, this is crazy. Your knowledge of sausage length is impressive. So, the tallest horse that ever lived was 21 hands tall, or indeed 7 feet and 2.5 inches, or 219 centimeters. But crucially, 19.16 sausages.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's amazing. All three of us were within one sausage of the correct answer.
Mike was within 0.06 of a sausage. That's pretty impressive. Right, last one. Sydney Opera House, then. How many sausages tall is the Sydney Opera House? Anyone been there?
No.
Not
a big fan of opera.
To be honest, right, you're getting confused. I was only really asking if Harry had been there.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
But
no,
fine.
never.
Okay, Mike, as you're not a big fan of opera, you can go first. How many sausages tall is the Sydney Opera House?
I thought you were asking me the question. Sally me. Bit like salami. I will go for 600 sausages.
600 sausages. Harry.
Yeah, so I mean, I've never been there, but I wonder whether the Sydney Opera House is actually smaller than you think it is. You always see it from helicopter shots, don't you, of the Sydney Opera House? 723 sausages.
Okay. Lewis.
498.
Oh, gosh. How many did you say, Mike?
600?
Mike gets the point.
Look at this.
568.68 sausages. I believe that means that Mike and Harry both drew.
I
really need to keep a rein on this stuff, Phil.
Yeah.
Every week.
I can confirm. I think I got them all wrong, so I definitely didn't win.
So it'll go to the tiebreaker. Go to the tiebreaker.
Mike
and Harry. London bus, double decker. London bus. How many sausages tall is that?
Harry, would you like to go first?
Have you been to London, Mike?
I've been to London. I've been on a bus. So that's I'm going to say that's 50. I think that's the Mike's tallest man. 50 sausages high.
Okay.
Well, I think it's a couple of.
50.3.
I think it's a couple of sultans. I'm going to say 43 sausages.
Oof. And with that,
Is it 'cause I'm cool?
Mike, well done.
Oh, lovely stuff.
An average London double-decker bus is 38.5 sausages tall. So you can remember that if you are on one.
You would do the London-based one when I'm not involved. I would have got.
Oh dear.
Oh, sorry, Lewis.
Oh,
What's
dear.
that, McCockney China? Yeah.
What?
Sorry.
I mean, indeed, you sort of asked your own question there.
You're right there, Mike.
Yeah, sorry. Bit
Just
emotional.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, you've won a quiz for the first time in a long time. So congratulations
happy.
to you.
Very happy.
Yeah, okay, cool. Well, that was the quiz. It's a quiz, it's a quiz, it's a quiz, it's a quiz.
Desperately trying to think of a play on words around chorizo is proving tricky.
Yeah, but I can imagine it would do. So, sausages in batter, that's what Toad in the Hole is.
Whoa, steady, Eddie. Sausages in batter are a very different thing.
Well, they are.
Three.
Right.
No, as in you get from the chip shop.
Yep.
That's
a
sausage.
battered sausage.
Is it?
Yeah.
Battered
All right,
sausage
fine.
and sausages in batter.
Okay, fine.
What is the best battered thing you've ever eaten?
Pea fritter.
Pea fritter. Okay.
Love a mushy pea fritter, me. Although, actually, can I change my answer? This is something I'm quite passionate about.
I don't think people are going to mind if you do.
Okay. Smithson's of Southbourne in Dorset do a corned beef and onion fritter. It's basically corned beef hash in batter, and it's fantastic.
Okay. Okay, fine. Yeah, I'll allow it.
Thank you.
Harry?
Quite like a tempura. Prawn.
Oh, gosh.
Fish. Harry, what are you doing? You're not a fish, Harry.
In a light dipping sauce. Very nice. Yeah.
No one needs that. Lewis, don't say fish as well.
No. I can't think of, but I'm going to Scotland in the summer. I know Mike wouldn't be happy about this.
Oh no.
But I don't want to stereotype things. That I am quite keen to track down a deep fried Mars bar.
Oh, I've had them in Bournemouth. Yeah, I've had them in chip shops in Bournemouth. They're all right actually. Quite sickly, and actually, I was young when I considered them sickly, and these days my taste buds consider most things sickly. So.
Well, it's on my list of things to do whilst in Scotland.
You often get a battered cream egg this time of year. You get a battered cream egg, don't you?
Well, they've changed the recipe now, haven't they, Phil? So we're not having them anymore. Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Are they very hot, battered Mars bars? Are they like molten in the middle, or are they cooled down?
Yeah, they're quite toasty, but you just leave it a tiny moment, and then you'll be all right, Harry.
That's the danger, isn't it? It's like the deep fried apple pie you can get from McDonald's.
Hotter than the sun.
That is the hottest substance known to man, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
That is the problem there. Right, we've got some listener questions. We really do need a jingle for listener questions. I'll try and work on that.
Well, are there any called Joe?
Well, yeah, we've got that jingle. Of course, we have got that jingle. Although, I don't even know where that is right now. We've got a question from Mickey. Is it acceptable to eat toad in the hole with baked beans?
Oh, no. No. Straight in there. No.
Well, why not?
That's horrible.
Is it?
Yeah, disgusting.
All right, fair enough. Is it because you then can't have gravy because you've got one sauce already?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be my.
Yeah, that'd be the problem.
Yeah.
Beans and gravy, are they completely? You cannot possibly have them on the same plate.
The only exception I'd make to the beans and gravy is I will quite often reheat a shepherd's pie, which has got some gravy in the mix, right?
This is a good point. Yeah.
And I'll add some baked beans on the side.
You know what? That is a point
well made. If I'm making a shepherd's pie, cottage pie, I'd actually put baked beans in it.
Would you?
Yeah.
And then gravy on the top.
And then you have gravy. Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
So yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
Blowing things wide open.
We've been hoisted by our own petard there. We really have.
Oh, hey
Can't
Mickey,
believe
you've
it.
really
Yeah. Well done, Mick.
Yeah.
That is surprising. Mike, why only when you reheat shepherd's pie? What if you had like a fresh shepherd's pie? Would you still have
fresh shepherd's pie? I'll have purely or cottage pie. Lamb
Cottage
for
pie.
shepherds, beef
Are
for
you
cottage.
having lamb mince in your
Yes,
shepherd's pie?
we do occasionally.
Do you?
Don't talk us down, Harry. We just occasionally we can dream. We can be dreamers at our place as well. At Botto Towers.
I'm not sure lamb is like the.
Oh, it's very
I
expensive
don't
by
think it's any more-
comparison.
Is it?
Oh,
I don't-
yes.
Well, we don't buy. We don't eat lamb in our house because Amy doesn't like it. So
Yeah, do you remember?
I couldn't tell you the price of a bit of lamb these days.
Oh, I see. I thought you were implying. Oh, okay.
Welsh, isn't it? Sheep. Right.
Oh
right.
yeah, good. Good.
Okay.
Next.
Yeah.
Next. We have a question from Joe. This isn't the question, but you might wonder where that music's from. It's actually.
I was going to say, who are the two Spanish people in the background?
So that is a song that they played in Disneyland Paris throughout last year. And the start of the song is as you can guess, but I just infilled it with the amount of times we said Joe prior to making that little jingle.
But yeah, you recorded it on your phone when you were there.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Well, there is a Disneyland Paris playlist. This is a little tip for anyone who's going there, because we'll never be able to afford to again. But if you go there, then there's a Disneyland playlist on like Spotify and probably on Apple if you've got Apple, and you can listen to the songs that they're going to play when you're there, or when you've been there. If you want to reminisce, you can listen to them.
Oh God, I think you'd be sick of them, wouldn't you?
It brings back such happy memories. Carefree.
Okay.
Oh, how it's so much fun.
Once upon a Christmas time. That's for the Christmas parade.
Oh yeah, I haven't been to the Christmas parade, but it clearly brings back good memories for you. So yeah. Okay, cool. So the question from Joe is: what is the maximum number of sausages you can cram into a pan before you have a Yorkshire pudding tragedy?
Well,
size of pan really does play an important role in this question.
Absolutely.
Okay, what's your maximum sausage to batter ratio, percentage wise?
How are we measuring the batter? Sorry to be finicky about this.
The size of the batter, like how much space it takes up in the pan in comparison to the sausages.
Oh, a proportion of batter to sausage.
Well, okay, you've just rephrased my question by.
Well, you said how many sausages?
Well, I said no. What's the proportion of sausages to?
Okay, I'm gonna say that we should
25 sausages.
25%. 25% sausage.
25 maximum. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, I could work to a 60-40 split, to be honest.
To be honest, I was just trying to stop you two arguing.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I think it depends. I mean, in my house, our lasagna dish.
My lasagna dish. My lasagna dish.
Doubles up as our toad in the hole dish, and that's quite large and and robust because it was a good quality one. I can't remember where we got it from now, but so I'm 8. I reckon 8 sausages.
But what's
big
the percentage?
Ones? Not. Oh, I don't know about the bloody percentage. Sorry, I just two sausages each. Fill it up with the rest of the batter. Bob's your uncle. Where you go?
We should clarify there are 4 people in your family.
Yes. So we're having 2 each.
There's a lot of ambiguity around this. I could just say 100 sausages. You don't know the size of my pan.
or the size of your family.
Indeed.
Or your appetite.
Well, no. I think we know that.
Having said that, if we're going for chipolatas, you get 12 in a pack of chipolatas from Tesco's.
Would you chipolata it? Would you?
Well, if I've only got chipolatas in the old freezer,
okay,
or larder cupboard, as I have, but I don't have a larder cupboard.
Exotic.
I used to, but we moved house. Yeah, so you get 12, but then they're smaller, aren't they?
Yeah.
For me, it's a 50-50 split. I'm happy with 50-50.
I mean, that's the answer that solves all the riddles. Okay, good.
Yeah.
It's not
Okay.
50-50. I think 60-40. You're having more batter than sausage.
Well,
would say
50-50, I
so.
can have an equal amount.
And if you're using chipolatas, you've got to chipolata more room for the sausages to go in the pan.
Oh, that's good. I mean, it's good. It's good. It's good.
You two just pipe down. Right, so fine. I find when I cook a toad in the hole, the issue is trying to get the batter cooked all the way through.
That's the
Well,
trouble.
he's
That's
got-
the big trouble.
So you need it longer on a lower heat if you've got a taller lasagna dish, Harry. You want it longer on a lower heat rather than shorter on a higher heat. Otherwise,
Which
it's undercooked.
Yeah, and that goes against the rules on Yorkshire puddings, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'm just
higher.
just letting you know, guys. Sorry to interrupt, but my phone that I'm recording on today is at 2%. I've been on the edge for a little while now. It's quite exciting, but if I do drop off, don't be alarmed.
Okay, fine. No
Have you
worries.
got a question from Zoe at all?
No, I've got a question from.
That's a shame because I could have done Zoe, but fine. Carry on.
Right. Okay. So Charlotte said, another person said this. My mum used to make this when I was a child. I can't eat this as an adult, which is odd. Neil then said, I'd love someone to cook this for me. It's 2 meals in one. Now, Neil is in Australia. So Neil says it's a sausage sizzle and a Yorkshire pudding. Mike, can you Google sausage sizzle? Because I'm at work and I don't want to.
Yeah.
On 2%.
Yeah, so I could do that.
Sausage sizzle. And then
I hope the internet doesn't go down, Phil, because might be a bit of a snag.
Very good.
Thank you.
In a way,
for our
kind of-
Australian listeners.
Yeah.
I don't think that's necessarily a sausage. I've got to tell you.
Oh, 4.
No, nothing like that. I think that's any sort of meat. I think snags are probably chops, to be perfectly honest.
a sausage sizzle is a grilled or barbecue community event in Australia. A sausage is served in sliced bread or a hot dog bun. Oh, it's a hot dog.
Right.
Yeah, they had.
Well, you don't want to batter hot dogs. Not in my opinion.
There's a children's program on Netflix called Little Lunch. I don't know if you've ever watched it.
Yes,
And
yeah.
it's about an Australian. They have a sausage sizzle on that. It's a very funny program. It makes me laugh.
What about the investigators though? That's
yes,
decent.
yeah, we like that as well. Yeah, that's a good one.
The investigators. That's Aussie as well,
Yes.
isn't it?
He has
Yeah.
that same sort of humorous small child. Anyway,
about
getting off the point.
Izzy's Koala World? That's pretty decent.
No, I haven't watched that.
Izzy's Koala World. She's
Wait there.
a
I
koala
thought you
girl.
only let your children
No.
watch CBeebies, Harry.
Oh,
Well, you were strictly BBC, were you not?
Oh,
no,
dear.
I was strictly BBC growing up. We didn't have all these channels.
Oh, they'll be frequenting YouTube before we know it.
Oh,
dear,
they're
oh,
on
dear.
YouTube. Yeah, they're on YouTube all the time.
Oh gosh. Okay. Standards really have slipped from generation to generation.
They certainly have. Well, we just didn't have it.
No. Okay.
Famously didn't get a video player until 1996.
Oh, just as they were becoming defunct and being replaced by DVDs.
Yeah.
Sad times. Nick says, would you eat actual toad in the hole if it contained toad for a cash incentive?
I think we're going to have to talk a financial. We're going to have to come up with a number here, aren't we?
£10.
No.
£50.
No.
Sorry, Harry. Go on.
I mean, is he humorously envisaging a whole toad, or is he the bits of meat from a toad? I mean, I'd eat that. That'd be fine.
Would you?
I think he's going whole toad, but the meat.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't eat a whole toad with all the bones and everything.
Do
and his
toads
eyes
have
looking at you.
bones?
Of course they do.
Yeah. Well, you have, yeah. I mean, that's how they don't. That's
mean,
how they're not jelly.
That's how they're
In our
not
greatest clips montage, obviously, when I'm talking about, pyramids being made of sand, do toads have bones? Will almost certainly make the cut.
Yeah.
In fact, it should be. This episode should be called "Toad in the Hole." Brackets. Do toads have bones?
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
Not. Yeah. I apologise. Quite embarrassing. not the most embarrassing thing that's happened to me recently. Do you want to hear about something else that happened?
Yes,
Oh
please.
God,
Okay.
1% remaining, please. Yes.
Right.
Come on.
We went to Kingston Lacey because the sun finally came out. We went to Kingston Lacey, which is a big, like, old manor house, and they've got lovely gardens you can walk around.
Yeah.
At Kingston Lacey, they have a secondhand bookshop, which is quite small, but my kids love books, so we went for a wander in there. That was part of the deal of going to Kingston Lacey because they never fancy going for a walk, but always enjoy it when they're there. Anyway,
Your
we're in this-
children are motivated.
Yeah.
The level of behavior of your children is incredible. Your children are motivated by the fact that they get to go to a bookshop.
Yep.
I can only
Yeah.
dream of that kind of bribery.
Well, yeah, there's hope yet, Mike. You know, there's time.
I mean, he wouldn't work with Mike
No,
So,
I wouldn't.
yeah, no,
Never
that's
read a
fair.
book. Never completed a book.
or gone
Yeah.
willingly for a walk.
No,
No,
true.
no, true. You'd hate Kingston Lacey. So we're in Kingston Lacey, and
Yeah.
we're in this bookshop, and it's quite full, even though it's quite a small bookshop. And I've looked around on this shelf of new arrivals, and I see there's a book by Giovanna Fletcher, Tom
yeah.
Fletcher's wife,
Yes.
from McFly. And I knew that my wife Holly
I mean,
liked.
let's
You've got to
not-
speed this up, guys. I'm at 1%. I need to hear the end of the anecdote.
She
I mean,
likes.
I mean,
Go on,
on International Women's Day, I think Gianna Fletcher would probably like to be known as having won the jungle and been an intelligent professional celebrity in her own right, rather than just the wife of someone from McFly. But anyway, carry on.
Okay, critically
I
acclaimed
don't know who
author.
we're talking about. I don't know what's happening, but carry on.
Critically acclaimed author Giovanna Fletcher, lovely lady, very talented. So
Yes.
she's got a book there. I know that my wife likes her and has read her books before. So
Right.
I turn around to my wife and I rub her back, and because we're in the bookshop, I don't want to
Easy,
shout.
Tiger.
I don't want to shout, so I get her attention by rubbing her back, and then I whisper into her ear.
Oh, Mike's gone.
Oh my God! His power's gone. So you'll have to listen in to find out what happened. But so I rub her back, and then I whisper into her ear, and I say, "They've got a book up there by Giovanna Fletcher." Anyway, this must be 70-year-old woman turned and looked at me about 3 inches from my face, freaked out at why I was whispering into her ear and stroking her back. It was very awkward. Then the lady in the shop, I mean, everyone burst out in hysterics because I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were my wife." To which everyone in the shop burst out in hysterics, apart from my wife. Less fun for her. Then the lady on the counter in the shop said, "We don't offer those services here, madam. I'm really sorry." It was just it was awful. Absolutely awful. Yeah.
I mean, rubbing. It's a shame Mike's not here, because the rubbing of the back and whispering in the ear reminds me of the time that Mike met Hannah from Mess Club 7.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Exactly. Yeah, that was an awkward moment. Well, at least I didn't whisper into her ear, "I a little bit love you." And, like he did.
Yes,
Yeah.
that would have been worse.
I don't know what it is about the Botto brothers rubbing back. So I'm quite
Well,
an affectionate man.
You've both got restraining orders. You keep that in common.
Yeah, I can't now go to the bookshop in Kingston Lacey, which was our bribe ruined. But yeah,
You're banned from the National Trust.
banned from the National Trust. I mean, that's bad. That's bad, isn't it? Nick says, "Is there a sauce that is recommended to accompany Toad in the Hole?"
Well,
Gravy.
gravy. Surely.
What type of gravy? What flavour gravy?
What you like?
Well-
Onion gravy, be good.
Oh, onion would be good, Lewis. I'm with you on that.
Oh, so right, okay. I once accidentally bought onion gravy for some reason, and it's become a thing in our house now when I've cooked the roast dinner. Thank you. For the children to say, "Is it onion gravy?" And I say, "No, we finished the pot, 3 years ago." But still funny. So we're now gonna trip into the old red gravy conundrum. That is it actually beef gravy, or is it just mixed meat?
It's mixed meat. I have
Yeah.
checked with Bisto. Yeah.
Because so what I used to say, I tell you what, if I'm cooking sausages, to lighten the gravy slightly, I will put 3 scoops of beef gravy,
Yeah.
and then 1 scoop of chicken gravy, just to lighten it up a touch.
Really?
Yeah, rather than just full on beef gravy. Because if you buy Tesco's own gravy, which I do,
No one believes you, Harry.
it is actually beef. It is actually beef gravy granules, but
I see.
not the Stockwell one, the actual ordinary Tesco
Okay.
one. Just to be clear,
Not the Tesco value equivalent yet.
no, they don't. Yeah, So just to lighten it a touch, because the pork is slightly lighter than beef, in my opinion. So that's what I do. A blend.
A blend of gravy granules. That is extraordinary effort for a toad in the hole. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Yeah, I'm with Lewis.
Or any sausage based meal.
So last night we had sausage and mash, which is I assume mash is your accompaniment to toad in the hole. Is that what you would go for? Or would you go for something different? Harry, you're looking shocked.
No, I'm just thinking that although that is a similar face that I pull. Mashed potato or just boiled potatoes, I suppose.
Boiled potato. Lewis?
If it's a choice between boiled potato and mash, I'm going mash every day. Mash is a fine answer.
Rubbish.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I don't know why anyone would go, oh, let's have boiled potatoes when you could have mashed potatoes where you add butter and indeed salt and pepper, or you could have roast potatoes, or you could have potato dauphinoise. I mean, the options are endless with potatoes. Why you'd go boiled is beyond me.
Because it's quick and easy.
Oh, gosh.
You've got to boil potatoes and then put them in the oven for another hour if you're roasting them. I don't even know what dauphinoise potatoes is, but involves cream, doesn't it?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're generally new potatoes if we're boiling them, but so you keep the skin on, a bit more interesting. And then you can put butter with them.
Yeah, you can, and then fry them and add some cheese.
Oh God, it's a lot of work in your house. I'm rushing to prepare meals,
Oh, I like cooking. I like cooking a lot.
Well, I like cooking, but sometimes you've got to get your children fed before 9 o'clock.
This is true. What are your views? Because I personally, if I'm having a toad in the hole, or indeed most things sausage based, apart from hot dogs, or indeed beans and sausages from Heinz, or Shop Zone. If I'm having sausages, I'm going English mustard. Is that allowed?
Yeah.
Oh, well, but that's not the sauce. That's just a little accompaniment.
Well,
surely.
The question was: is there a sauce that's recommended to accompany it? I mean,
English mustard is a good accompaniment to sausages.
Yeah.
I was saying when my daughter was very young, remember, perhaps I was having sausages and we had the English mustard out, and she must have been about 2 at the time, or possibly 3. That she was banging on that she wanted to have the English mustard, and they took the teaspoon out of my hand with a teaspoonful of English mustard, and I just gave up with the moaning about saying, "Well, have it then."
Yeah, absolutely. And she spooned it straight
in?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, spooned in a teaspoonful of English mustard.
Because that hits you in the back of the nostrils, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. It really does. It was the glee in her eyes for about 0.5 of a second.
Yeah.
Before the reality kicked in.
Her nasal passages must have been so clear that she didn't have a cold for like 10 years.
Oh dear.
Wow, that is some going. I once so my eldest Isla, I once did a Indian cookery night with a local lady called Minu, who is wonderful, and she's an amazing cook. And at the end of it, you could get these like Indian spice tin things. It's got all these spices in, and one of them was chili powder. And so I was showing them to Isla when she was, I don't know, about 3. And I was letting her smell them, and I said, "Just don't touch any of them." Anyway, she picked up, she put her hand into the chili powder when I wasn't looking, and then rubbed her eye, which wasn't ideal. Chili powder in the eye is not good. Right, we've got a follow-up question on last week's podcast from Mike's wife.
Right.
Last week we spoke about afternoon tea. And she says, "Why are none of you using the McDonald's app? It's like a club card. You get free burgers and stuff. Who doesn't want free stuff?" I don't. We did speak about.
Oh, yeah. This is because I said it annoyed me when they asked whether I'd ordered on the app today when you go to the drive-through.
Yeah.
When you've got 2 screaming children in the back and you quite obviously haven't ordered through the app. You're just doing something in desperation to placate them. As many people may know or are coming to know, that I struggle deeply with technology, so I'm not going to be downloading the app. I mean, our dear friend and sometime contributor Ant got so cross with me once because I couldn't work out how to use the Domino's friends and family app. That I thought he was. He electronically shouted at me in capital letters that it was obvious and you had to just click on there, and I still couldn't. Well, to this day I don't know how it works, but yeah.
I can confirm that Harry and I often see each other in Tesco's, but we do frequent different checkouts.
Yes.
So the McDonald's app, I don't have the McDonald's app because if I drive to McDonald's, it's never usually planned.
Yeah.
And it's very rare we'll go to McDonald's, but it'll be like, oh, there's a McDonald's, let's just stop there because we've run out of time for lunch or whatever.
If you're going to use the app, surely you're pulling over into the car park, then making a decision, and then getting in the drive-through queue.
Yeah, what's the point?
Yeah,
I don't get it.
But I'm sure there are savings to be made. So if you are of that mind, you are,
Apparently, there's free burgers and stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
So what's your least used app on your phone? What's the app that you've got on your phone that you think I have no idea why I've got this on there?
I've got a Zoom app on my phone, which I think I've used once.
Since COVID?
Since COVID.
Yeah,
because I generally just do it on the laptop if I have to Zoom anyone. So that doesn't get used very often. I don't know. I'll have a look now. I'll have a live look.
Yeah. I've got a Threads app. Do you remember Threads that came out? It's going to be a rival to Twitter. So I downloaded it.
I've got that. Yes.
But I've never opened it since the day that I first got it. That seems a bit pointless.
I've got.
And, you get like Ringo and parking apps.
Oh, yeah.
You go to the car park and you pay on your car. Well, Salisbury Town Centre, Salisbury City Centre, you have to download their own app specifically.
You do. Catches me out every time.
My permit. I mean,
Oh, I've got that. Is that a Salisbury only one?
Salisbury only thing. Yeah, it's rubbish. Anyway, the people around the world will be pleased to hear about.
Yes. Yeah. Salisbury.
So, talking of Salisbury, any other business, Lewis?
No, I don't think so.
No. Okay, Harry, any other business?
Mike was asking me some odd questions earlier about it's a shame he's gone about apples but I got confused as to why your apple would be soggy if you put it in water. Surely you just sort of dry it off and it's good to go. So there's a question for our listeners to answer. How
slow does he eat apples?
Yeah, I was wondering what he was
mid-consumption.
Surely he must be cutting them up.
He's cutting them up, or Claire's cutting them up for him because presumably she makes his lunch. And they're in a Tupperware and they've gone brown. But what you can do is put lemon juice on them, but that would probably alter the taste because that stops things going.
That make a taste of lemons. It's like as we found out about banana flavoring is actually made of pear. It's very confusing. It's a bit of a mind mess. I made a crumble the other day.
Yeah.
Which is very much in the tone of Toad in the Hole, where you're just making things go a long way.
Yeah.
And I thought, right, I need to make the kids a pudding. Dessert, maybe if you're
give them a yogurt.
Well, yeah, they get quite bored of yogurts, so they do usually have yogurts. Although I think my wife got Isla some creme caramels.
Ooh,
they're like,
yeah.
I don't like them personally, Lewis, but each their own.
Okay.
But anyway, so I made a crumble, and I was so sure that I had some fruit to put in it, but I didn't. So then I saw in the cupboard I had a tin that we run a hamper at a Christmas raffle. So I had a tin of peach slices and a tin of half pears.
Yeah.
Which is an odd size of pear to have in a tin, if you ask me. And I mixed them up and made a crumble with that, and it was delicious.
It sounds delicious.
Did you
Peach
cut
and
the
pear.
Did you cut the pears up further?
Yes, I did.
I was going to
Yeah,
say good.
because I figured in a tin you're probably going to have 2 half pears, maybe 3. They managed to cram about 6 in there, and I cut them up a bit more. But that was decent.
Good.
Drained off the syrup, obviously.
Obviously,
But
makes
that was good.
delicious drink on the side.
Oh, it does. A bit of evaporated milk on the top,
Ooh.
maybe.
Oh, that's like a ice cream floater in a way, isn't it?
It is. Gents, if you've not got anything else, say if you have, then we should call time.
No, don't think so.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much for listening. And we will be back next week with something else. Let us know what you want us to talk about. Although, yeah. I think there is an email, chipadvisorpod@gmail.com.
Yeah. Perhaps we should. I mean, this is an on-air meeting, but perhaps we should open up to our faithful followers, all 3 of them in Alderholt, to what they would like us to talk about. Perhaps that's something we could do. Is that something?
The problem is we're opening up this idea an hour in, pretty much, and we know that means no one would actually hear this section. We should have said this at the start.
Oh well, they've heard it now, and then they could. We put something on Facebook. Whoever does the social media stuff, I'm not sure who it comes from, but it appears every now and again. We could put it out there to just say, what would you like us to talk about, and we can talk about it.
Okay, and if they have any interesting food stories relating to that, it's chipadvisorpod@gmail.com. Okay, good. Gents, have a good one, and we'll see you next week.
All right, cheery, bye.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.